Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If you're new here and you like the content, hit subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you like it, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications when we go live, tap the bell. We go live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes after market close. Definitely appreciate that you're here though. If you want to get connected with the UVH fam, hit the links below to our free options trading group along with the Discord. If you're here right now, say what up. I see VDEC, FC, Jeff, Ahmed, how's everyone doing? And YouTube has been real weird lately. Real weird. Got a lot of... Yo, Mark, what's going on? Jeff. Oh, what? That's all today? Rest of the gang got wrecked. I think that anybody that is short is getting wrecked. I mean, it's just I mean, I'll say it's pretty incredible for the day. I mean, that was pretty crazy, this leg up. But like, if you're looking back here, crazy when Nick started this was the usual count. Now it's low. Jedgowski, what's going on? If you're here, say what up. Want to meet you. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. For me, I learned a lesson again, unfortunately. RSA 108. RSA 108ify. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, we had a pretty big gap up here. Mark learned a lesson, and yesterday I thought we were going to have, you know, it was looking kind of bearish yesterday. I mean, the overall market was looking bearish. You know, it looked like if you're looking at SPY, you know, you were looking like it wanted to head lower. Like we were kind of topping out here, and then we had a spike up, and it looked like it overall wanted to get lower. Oh, Zach got paid. Well, you got Amazon shares. Amazon's up 47. Google's up 25. Yo, VTech, my squad is deep. My squad's deep. But yeah, and I think that, you know, the market went up. What CNB was saying, because they reached a potential deal to avoid the shutdown, but then Trump said he's not happy about it. And then I think the reason why we have a hard time. Whoa. I think the reason why we have well, at least me, I should just speak for myself. I think one of the reasons I have a hard time being bullish is because we have like stuff like this. You know, we have these major rip-ups, and then we have, you know, Trump's getting angry about the tariffs, and he says he would say postponing the March 2 deadline for tariffs if they reach a trade deal. But the thing is, like, with the trade deal, like, Trump is known just to kind of do whatever he wants. Like, it doesn't matter what CNBC posts. CNBC could be like, hey, the deal's tomorrow, and then the deal never comes. I mean, and then Nick should follow his brother. Yeah, he doesn't have any option positions on right now. But he's up $100 for the day. I mean, that's good. $100 a day keeps the JOB away. So, I mean, what I was saying is, it's hard to be bullish when you have this trade deal. I mean, yes, the trade deal could be great, it could be amazing, or it could fall through. And I think that the earnings weren't very good this week. BTech, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You either work for yourself or you work under someone. That's life. And then we have stocks rally on tentative deal to avoid government shutdown. Like, it's hard. I think the reason why I've been struggling is because it's hard for me to trade on some like wishy-washy news. Like, nothing is set in stone. There's nothing's been signed. You know, this news here could, you know, it says stocks rally on tentative deal to avoid government shutdown and U.S. trade hopes. It could easily have been, you know, this, we've seen it many times. Stocks decline as government shutdown approaches and China trade deal falls through. I mean, it's like, and if that were to happen, we would, like, I'm not saying, you know, the market's definitely not in a fair place. The market is definitely not. But I think with this deal, it's causing people to stumble, and I'm definitely one of them. Yo, Wayne, what's going on? I've seen you streaming video games on Facebook. Nice. So, but at the end of the day, like on SPY, you can't deny the uptrend here. I mean, like, I think 280 is going to be very serious. Yeah, VTech, I can do Netflix, which is just obscene. Netflix was obscene. I think SPY at 280, it's definitely going to be very dangerous here. You know, class AI, what's going on? But like 280. 280 is going to be the real trouble. I guess you just gotta, you know, kind of close your eyes and push buy, even though you don't necessarily want to be bullish. Like, I mean, I'm technically a bull, but I don't feel very bullish, if that makes sense. And I think it's definitely been playing, you know, mind games. I think it's just like, you close your eyes and buy the dip. You close your eyes and buy the dip, even though we have this potential trade or non-trade deal. You know, I think that's just how things are rolling. VTech, yeah, look at Netflix real quick, and I'll get to some of my trades here. Yeah, Netflix also, I think Netflix had some upgrades today too, right? I'm pretty sure. Netflix. I think they saw they were upgraded, and someone said they were going to beat estimates for the rest of the year. I can't remember where I saw that, but if anybody has info on it, let me know. But I think that Netflix, I've had to bite the bullet and buy the dip countless times and profited most of them. It's just what it is right now. I know. I think that you have to stop getting over, like, I made a lot of money over the last, like, I don't know, for a while. We were making steady gains, profitable ones, everything was good. And then I think the issue is when the trade deal and all this stuff, the market started to recover. The market started to recover, but then the news didn't go with it. I think was the major psychological break for me. You know, like, the market was moving higher, but the news wasn't moving with it. The news stayed where it was, but the market was moving up. So I've said this before, where, you know, it's not about you being right, because I mean you're a small trader in the mix of things. Like, no one cares about your $1,000 you have in the market, or even $10,000 you have in the market, or even if you have $100,000 in the market. Nobody cares. You know, nobody cares. The market doesn't care about your money. You know, they want to take your money, obviously. But you can't deny the uptrend, even though the news hasn't caught up. You can't deny the the uptrend. However, you could say, like, if you were making a case for like the bulls, you could say the market, when the market fell, it was an overreaction, and now it's coming to its true valuation. You know, like you could say that, or you could say if you're a bear, you know, it's kind of interesting how you can see like different perspectives in different people and how they trade and how they view the market. You know, not necessarily, I mean, not everybody's right all the time. People are right, people are wrong. I mean, CNBC is right, CNBC is wrong. I'm right, I'm wrong. A lot of people on YouTube are right and wrong. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, but you know, it's nice to see like different people's insights. Like if you're bullish on the market, it's nice to see what that insight is. If you're bearish on the market, you know, it's good to understand those arguments. Just kind of like Tesla, we talked about this before, where it's just like, you know, there's a bullish case for Tesla and then there's a bearish case for Tesla, and somehow the stock, you know, does what it does, and it you know, the company exists the way it was. I understand it's hard at being at work and trade options, but I'm trying to do my best. Not retired, just working full time. Could have made money, but I learned a lesson. Ronald. But I learned a lesson. Check out PYX. So yeah, Netflix got upgraded, and I think that Netflix is just a crazy stock, and it's coming back into, you know, it's trying to get back up to the highs here, which it was like pushing up here. I mean, I think that this was way overdone when it went from like 250 to 420. It was just insane. But then you say, hey, it just went from 230 all the way up to like 360 here. I mean, PB, what's going on? You just don't understand. You don't understand why Netflix does that. Like Netflix and Tesla, they break all the rules. You know, and I guess that's why rules exist, so that people, you know, so they can break them, and they go against traders, and people make money and people lose money, and that's just the way it is. RSA, I am not going to day trade. Yes, I did day trades. It didn't work out very well. Let's look at SPY. Rich, we just looked at SPY. Where were you? That's what happens when you're late. That's what happens when you're late. Oh, well, you know, if we can't have fun, what's the point, right? So Netflix got upgraded. I would definitely say up here, you got to be cautious. Like I'm very much a support and resistance guy, and up here, you just gotta be careful. Right at 360. Now, I mean, it could definitely go to 380. It could definitely run to 380. I have Coke, but unfortunately, it's from McDonald's. I didn't eat McDonald's for lunch. I just got a drink. Okay, I didn't eat. I actually had meatballs and sausage in a bowl. That was it. Sounds kind of weird, but it was meatballs and sausage with green peppers. Only time it won't if we have a recession, as many people have been predicting, but who knows if that's going to happen. Yeah, everyone's predicting that we're going to have a recession in 2020. And, you know, it's kind of hard when everybody's on board, you know. TTWO at bounce levels. Yo, Kit, what's up? Well, it's definitely made some new 52-week lows. I don't know if it's at bounce levels. Take-Two Interactive. I know you trade a lot of games here. Yeah, so they just had earnings. They missed. They missed badly. EPS was 276. They reported $1.57, and I'm guessing they lower guidance. I mean, honestly, it's probably going. I mean, don't quote me on this, but it's probably going to like 70 or something. You know, you got to be careful when company. I don't know. You got to look it up for if they lowered their guidance. If they lowered their guidance, I think Take-Two is going to be in trouble. Option volume is not that bad. I mean, you have 1,200 up in here for the monthlies. I don't know if the weeklies are any good. Weeklies next week aren't that good. Monthly. So I think for this one, you want to stick to the monthly expirations and not go to the weeklies. Like some stocks, just because they have weekly expirations doesn't mean you should trade them. You know, if you're looking at the volume, and then the bid and ask is really wide. You want to look at stuff that has volume. So the ones on, if you have Thinkorswim, obviously these say weeklies on here, and then the ones that don't say weeklies, when I'm talking about monthlies, these are actually monthlies. They don't say weeklies. And I think that is the same for, yeah. So if you're looking at Tastyworks, same thing. The W here means weeklies. If they don't have a W there, that means monthlies. Yeah, EA was up. I'm actually done with that stock. I lost $60 on EA today due to shorting it, and I shorted it twice. Didn't work. I cut and ran, but they got Apex money coming in. That's why we talked about Apex a little bit yesterday. Is it's just because people, I think just because Apex is popular doesn't mean people are spending money on it because it's free to play, you know. And I don't think, I think Fortnite is gonna make a lot more money just because of the customizations that you can do. And I don't really feel like Apex Legends, like, you really care about customization. Like, you don't really care about what your person looks like and stuff like that. In Fortnite's all about customization in terms of like building into, like, you know, the emotes and the dancing, and then you know, your actual skin, your actual person, your avatar or whatever. So I think that's where Fortnite definitely has an edge with the creativity. I don't think that the people that play Apex really care about that stuff. And they don't charge and there's no like upcharges or anything like that. Like, Fortnite has the battle pass that you can upgrade to, and Apex doesn't really have that, I don't think. So, yeah, I don't understand. EA is going up for some reason. I mean, it's looking crazy. This chart is, we went from 80 to 106 in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. However, this sell-off, I mean, this morning, if you're looking at this sell-off here, was literally insane. Literally insane. Apex is still young. I mean, Apex is just a couple days old, so it's hard to say. Like I don't know if it justifies. I don't know if it justifies a 20 or 30% bump in your stock price just because a game was released a couple days ago. I mean, look at what happened to Pokemon Go. I mean, millions of people were playing that. It was a big phenomenon, and then it ended within a summer. Not really comparing the two games, but just saying, like, for the hype, I don't like to buy the hype, but I think shorting the hype, I'm just too premature. Like, if you're looking at my trades here, I shorted EA twice today. One at the 96 level. It was actually profitable. I should have took the trade off. Ended up selling it out for, you know, I lost like 45% on this rip up here. Got faked out, and then I thought I was going to come back down, so I bought the 95. I bought the 95 for 47. I sold it for 26. So I think that I think based on my trades this week that, you know, I've been taking it slow, but in terms of even putting on those positions, you got to take it a step back and go trade a little bit slower. Like, you just gotta, you can't trade, like, if you're looking at Microsoft here, you can't trade these bars. Like, don't put a position on these bars unless you're taking a position off. You know, you'd be much better putting a position on here, like, for buying premium. You'd be much better buying a position in here than you would be then when it was spiking up like $1, you know, because then you get implied volatility and everything starts to ramp up, and the calls really start to ramp up as well. Yo, Kit, thanks for the $2. After hours, ATVI gonna crash now. ATVI, yeah, Blizzard, they had earnings today. Back to flat, went down, then went up, back to flat. Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily. Yeah, they're definitely not doing very well. ATVI is definitely not doing very well. If you take a look here, they got. I think that all the game makers are having some issues right now. I mean, wow, they're at a multi-year low here. Let's go to 3 years. Offered weak guidance for the first half of 2019. Shares fell. Yeah, I mean, we got to go back 3 years. 3 years on this. Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna go to like 35 area. If these guys can't turn it around, we're in trouble. Powell about to give a speech at 4:45. UVH sounds like a clan, like a cult. All right, if you guys want UVH gaming, raise your hand. UVH gaming, raise your hand. Yo, Billy, what's going on? Glad you're here. If you're new here, say what up. Don't be shy. Want to meet you. ATVI though, let's see what are these. Yeah, I think I gotta put these guys on my radar here. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely highly traded on these monthlies here. Weeklies aren't looking terrible either. I mean, March not that great, but next week's not bad. And then we have the monthlies. I mean, they're pretty good volume here. Hamed sold this PS4. He grew up. I got Xbox. I actually, on this new PC, I will admit it's fantastic to play games on. It's a blast. My brain is not handling games anymore. Yeah, I mean, you got to have the time, and I don't really have that much time. I just play. The reason why I like to play games like that is because it helps me relax and gets my competitive energy out. You know, it helps me focus on something other than business or the stock market or numbers or anything like that. Helps me just have fun, but also allows me to remain competitive and get that out there. Don't forget Armando. I'm not going to repeat that on the stream, man. Yeah, VTech, I'll do Tesla. Do institutional investors of EA even understand free-to-play and game monetization, or just to see the allocation numbers and pump? Alex, they don't. They do not. They do not. It's kind of like what like when Congress was grilling Facebook and stuff on who made the iPhone. raised. All right, we'll see about it. Do you guys think for gaming, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch is the best spot? What do you guys think? Where do you guys watch your games on? Tesla, VTech. I got you, man. I got you. I see you. I see all the comments, so I read every single comment as I'm talking. just sometimes I can't address everybody while I want to stay on topic and finish my sentences. Otherwise, I'll just be like, you know, I don't want to be, you know. People that watch this later want to hear like complete sentences and want to hear. Kid, if you're from Chicago, you eat sausage at least 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. Sergio, I'm good, man. I'm good. YouTube, then Twitch. Interesting. Oh yeah, Kit, you're anti Facebook, so I get it. Nick, check out WN. Please got 105 call. Got you, Baron. I got you. But yeah, let's not ignore VTech. We got Tesla on deck. Tesla, one of the things that I thought interesting today with Tesla and Facebook, right? Tesla and Facebook on this hugely green day. I mean, Dow was up almost 400. S&Ps were up over 1%. Everything was up over 1% across the board. Netflix, the exception, was like 4%. IBM 1.5%. You know, Amazon, Google, all those people were up big. Tesla and Facebook went red. I mean, this, like, if you're looking at these charts, I mean, they're almost not identical, but I mean they're a complete downtrend all day. And then we had these huge legs down on Tesla and Facebook today, and it just fell apart. And that's what kind of also messes me up mentally, is that when you have these other big stocks like this just falling apart, like especially Facebook, you know, in terms of that, it just cracked through. You know, Tesla might be kind of like an iron condor time, waiting for the next catalyst. The only thing is, like, iron condors you're gonna have to be a little bit tight on the iron condors. Because of implied volatility is like down here. I mean, the options are cheap. So we're not really losing that much. Like we're not paying a lot for options, and when we lose, we're kind of taking small positions. You know, we're not overpaying for premium unless it has a huge spike or something like that. But I mean, just overall, I mean, implied volatility is back at the lows here in the last few months. And if you look here in terms of November and December, I mean, implied volatility was down here as well until it spiked up, but it did take like 2 months for it to really spike up. You know, I'm actually really surprised, you know, Tesla really goes against the trend. You know, when the market was selling off in October and November and December, Tesla didn't really sell off. The only time it sold off was kind of right before earnings. And then down in here, I don't remember what was the catalyst over the it was the whole 420 thing that Elon said that he's funding secure at 420, and that said it. You know, then they found that wasn't right, and then that set it off on its downward spiral down. Twitch. Who owns Twitch? Amazon. Buzz. Amazon owns Twitch. So the interesting thing about Amazon owning Twitch is that if you're a Prime subscriber, you get one free subscription to a Twitch streamer per month. Well, one person at a time. So the only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't like renew the Twitch subscription, which is kind of weird. Like, why would you not renew it? Why would it doesn't automatically renew? And then every month you go in there like, oh, and it doesn't notify you like saying, hey, your subscription ending to this guy in like a day or two. It doesn't say that. Check out shop on Amazon. I think I want to look at, Baron wants to check out WM, and then I'll go over a couple of my trades here. Waste management. I think I saw them having earnings coming up, right? They have earnings this week. Yeah, they have earnings on Thursday, and we have, you know, what I don't like about waste management. I do like this as a trade because I do like to trade before earnings the 52-week highs and 52-week lows. I definitely like this type of setup, because I generally do well when it's at a 52-week high or a 52-week low, and then they report earnings. I generally do well. I mean, if you're looking like down here when it was making new lows, it ripped up nicely, $8-10 here. But what I don't like about WN is the volume. Open interest is pretty big, but volume today was relatively low. Nothing. I mean, all collectively it's like 500 on all the strikes on the calls, and the puts is like 800, and only 2 strikes are really traded. And the expected move is $2.40. So it's probably gonna move more than $2.40 based on the chart, but it gets a little dangerous playing with options that are low volume like that. So you gotta be careful. It definitely doesn't look like you would want to short options in here. I'm gonna go to check out shop and Amazon percentage moves open close today. Yeah, Kit, the thing I don't like about shop though, the option volume is just terrible. I mean, this is a great option trading chart, but in terms of the volume, actually the volume, well, they have this week they have earnings, right? So we're gonna get more volume. Normally there's not much volume on it. Hopefully that changes. I'll keep checking in. Billy, I'll do Microsoft because I have a couple trades on there. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Take care, Zach. I got to refocus. I got to trade with all the volatility end of last year. Yeah, and FC, what I do want to say is with the volatility that we had last year, we had a two-sided market. So even if you were wrong on one direction, it was most likely going to return there at some point, or go closer to where you were losing at, so that way you can get out like break even. And when the market really started to be more difficult, when it was definitely getting harder to trade when we were going down every day. Like if we're going down, like when we're going one direction, it gets to be a lot harder to trade, and then we go up. I mean, right now we're going one direction pretty much up as well. So, you know, you gotta, it's a lot easier to trade in here because you can average down, you could play better defense, you could you know, make better decisions and different decisions, versus down here, if you're bearish, it's going to pay off, and then if you're bullish, it's going to pay off. But then if you kind of second guess that and go bearish in here, or you know, you're going to be in some trouble, which we are now experiencing. Microsoft. So Microsoft today. Let's go to my trades. Microsoft, I had, so yesterday I put a Microsoft position on, let's get Microsoft here. Okay, so Microsoft, yesterday I put the position on. I have the 105 put, the 108 call. And I'm gonna go through some. I was checking in some options pricing, and this is a good example for when you go bearish in the bullish uptrend here. And I had the 105 put and the 108 call, and then this morning when it spiked up, I sold the 108 call for 32 cents. When it spiked up here, it was at like the call was at like 50% profit, so I was looking for it to go back down, right? And it never did. But I did make 50% on that call. I cut the call, and if we're looking at Microsoft, I'm glad that I did cut it, because you know, that 108 call did become worth less. After I cut the call, I then bought another 105 put for 27 cents. So right now I'm looking at, I have 2 of the 105 puts and 1 of the 107 calls. And I've said this before, like when I'm trading like this and I'm swing trading, I'm not gonna go unprotected anymore, because I've done that and it turns out terribly. So, you know, any trade that I hold overnight, it's gonna be protected. you know, it's going to be this is now, so we now then turn this into more of a bullish trade. Microsoft is at 106.89 after hours. It closed at 106.89 as well. It's currently there. Microsoft, I was looking for it to have some trouble in the 107 area, which it kind of did when it got up to 107 here. We had some trouble, and usually like around 107.50, 107 area, it comes back down to like 106, 105. Yeah, I have a 107 call. I have a 107 call. So I'm holding right now 2 105 puts. I'll show you right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. I have 2 of the 105 puts and 1 of the 107 calls. So if we go down, we'll make some money. If we go up, we'll make some money. And although the interesting thing is yesterday I had 105 and I had a 108, which I'm glad I kind of sold it off and try to play some defense on that. You know, we got $32 back, not huge, but when it was $1.11, 32 is like, you know, 30%, 25%. So I got 25% back. Was able to redeploy that. But if you're looking here, if this, and at the time when I put this position on, what time did I put that position on? Yesterday at 10 a.m. So yesterday at 10 a.m. Microsoft was down in here. So this is yesterday's chart. Microsoft was down in here. I was looking for a break lower, and this was really just sitting at like 105 area, right? Now, instead of going bearish, if I went bullish on this, and this kind of gives you some perspective here on option pricing, and that strangling does work, but obviously in this case you had to be bullish. You had to be bullish. So if you're looking at it, instead of is this on the right thing here? Okay. So instead of having the 105 put, let's say we did the 105 call, and then we had, instead of the 108 call, we did like the 102 put. You know, this right now would have been worth 210. We probably would have made about 70% on this. And this is kind of, it's good to show you that the strategy is not wrong in the bullish market and the option pricing is correct. It's just that, kind of what today's title video is, you know, you mess with the bull, you get the horn. Like we try to short, I mean, we're trying to short this, like I haven't learned my lesson already. You know, we're trying to short this uptrend. We're trying to short this uptrend, and obviously it's not working. It's not working. But option pricing, the option pricing is theirs. But if I did a bullish strangle instead of a bearish strangle, we would be having a different conversation right now. So the option pricing, you know, it's confirmation that the option pricing is correct. The moves in the market are there to justify a strangle, but you have to be aggressive on the bullish strangle, and you have to be aggressive on the bearish strangle if you're bearish. You know, yo Ali, what's going on? So it's good to know that the strategy is right, the option pricing is right. We just went bearish instead of bullish. If we went bullish, we would have, you know, 70-80% winner versus having it be a 30% loser, 40% loser. Always going to my, yeah. Can you do high volatility choppy buying strangles at least broke even? Yeah, I think right now if you're gonna do strangles, you're gonna like for instance this Microsoft strangle, you gotta be, the one thing that I haven't figured out and work perfectly are doing SPY strangles, because the option pricing is expensive and theta is very aggressive on the weeklies, that if you're wrong, it's gonna hurt really bad. Vitaly, we did talk about Netflix. They just had some upgrades. I think we just got to be careful around this 360 area. Not saying it's gonna I'm not gonna say it's not gonna break down or whatever, but you know, coming up like on SPY. We're coming up on some major resistance here, like 280. We're probably going to go 280, and that's going to be really interesting. This is going to be really interesting. This triple top right here. And if we cut through, like if you look back in here when we had up in here when we cut through around 280 back in last November. When it cut through, finally, obviously, it took a lot longer. Like this is happening a lot faster. This is happening a lot faster. Back here when we dropped, but the drop wasn't as big. We dropped back in here back in March of 2018. It took a while for it to kind of get back up to where it wants to go. And yes, it got rejected, and people thought we were going to, you know, we got rejected here, and people thought we were going to go back down here, which it just had a slow grind back up, and then it just sat here and sat here until it eventually broke up, you know. So when the market's not moving very fast, when the market's just moving very slow, like we have to be very deliberate and very specific about the trades that we put on. We just can't get sloppy. Like we were used to, like back in here and in here and here, we were used to putting a trade on and waiting, and it would probably work out. In this case, you know, in a slow market, you know, especially like last time it broke through the 280, it literally took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to really break above. 9 days. That's 2 months. I mean, I'm sorry, that's 2 weeks, 5 business days almost. 5 business days a week, two weeks. And then it broke up. It kind of went up, and then it came back down, and then it sat back down here again before, you know, this is a very, you know, low volatility area. And you know, it showed down in the implied volatility as well. You know, it just was a very slow grind where you put on a bullish position and you wait. You put on a bullish position, you wait. Yes, you could have made money on this down move, but the down moves were not that good. You know, the down moves weren't that great. I mean, it did go from 80 down to 70. But, I mean, that's nothing when it was going from 80 to 60 to 80 to 60 to 80 to 230, back up to 275 now. Almost 275. I'm not going to say it didn't get to 275 today. So, you just got to be prepared for it. When it's a bullish market, it's a slow-moving market, man. You just got to be prepared for it, and just gotta look for the opportunities, and be very specific on the trades that you're gonna do. Yo, Shreep, what's going on? What else here? What else you guys got for me? We got about 18 minutes left on the stream. What else you guys want to look at? If you're here right now, say what up. If you've enjoyed the content so far, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. If you don't like the content, you can leave. No, I'm just kidding. But hit dislike. No, but I'm more of a person. I'm not doing that to troll or anything. I like to know what people like and what people don't like, and that way, you know, we have. That's what makes the UVH community a little bit better, a little bit stronger. TVIX. I don't think I've ever traded TVIX, probably because they don't have options. Credit Suisse velocity, but if you're looking, I would if you're looking at VIX, you know, if you look at VIX, the other thing that I was very cautious on yesterday, because we didn't break below, was like right here, where every time VIX dropped down to here, we would get popped up. Down here we get popped up, but now it looks like we're going to be trending lower down to like the 12 area. So, you know, the Bulls are going to win this. The Bulls are going to win this. The Bulls are going to win this unless something crazy happens. You know, I mean, it's starting to break lower. Not saying it's still like right about here where it could still bounce up, you know, so that's why I was kind of feeling a little bit bearish, because it looked like we could do something here, but it looks like we're just going to take the slow and low approach until we get down here, until we get down to the 12s, which would be, it's not going to be like the market's not going to be that much fun. let's just say you're just going to have to collect smaller profits and have those trades take longer to work out. You know, unless you're trading like in a bull market, you will get days like on Netflix down here, you will get like a 4% gainer on these upgrades, and when stocks get upgraded, there's going to be some momentum on there. So you're going to have to look at like the momentum stocks. We're not going to be able to just place trades on whatever stocks that we want to trade. We're going to actually have to look at momentum trades. We're going to have to look at what stocks are moving for what reason. We're going to have to get a little bit more into research before we could just trade the overall market. But if the market is slowly moving up and we want things that move, we're going to have to find stocks that move. We can't just keep trading Microsoft or IBM if we're just kind of like on a slow uptick right now. BA. We made some money in Boeing last week. Not a lot. It was like 20% or so, but they have blowout earnings. You got to be careful. You got to be careful about blowout earnings. Boeing today, and then charts like this is very 2017-ish. Charts like this right here, it's just slow grind up, slow grind up. Sure, you can day trade this, but the way to trade these kind of stocks right now is to put the positions on and come back a day or two later. I mean, honestly, like if you want to put a position on, it's really hard to day trade this type of stuff. You could have put a position in the morning, and then when it got up here to like 411, probably taking it off. But it's very slow and low. Alex, yeah, we could sell premium. We might just do that. We might do that. I might. I've been holding off. I mean, I used to in 2017. I sold a lot of premium. I did in 2017. I did thousands of premium trades. In 2018, not so much, just because it was a lot difficult. But if we're getting into this type of market again, that's just the way it goes. You put a position on, just kind of like hit and watch it bleed out. Instead of watching your account bleed out, you'll have those coins go into your pocket. You know, when the option pricing goes down, steel. I don't normally trade steel just because I don't really know too much about it. I've never traded this, but I definitely know of the product. I mean, it does trade it. A lot of people do trade it. It's actively traded. But it's just, for me personally, it's just really slow. It's really slow. Yes, it looks like it's making an uptrend here. But to go from, like, people look at charts like this and say, you know, oh, I went from 17 to 22. That's pretty big. And yes, it is. But when you actually have a trade on, and you have an options trade on, this is actually a very, very long time. You know, it took nearly 2 months. ATVI said we are screwed now, and people are like, we don't care, but we buy. Yeah, and that's the difficulty about trading earnings as well. Like, you know, they could have terrible earnings, and if someone wants to buy it, they could buy it. If it is what it is. That's going up. So, but I guess the question is, do you guys think that it deserved a 40% haircut, 50% haircut, more than 50% haircut? That's the other thing, is like when things get slashed, like when a stock runs 100%, you should probably question, does it deserve a 100% run? Like when Amazon ran up 100% in like a year, you got to think to yourself, did Amazon deserve that? And then the same thing, like when a stock gets cut in half, is that a little bit overdone? you know, what's the true valuation? And even though they let's see, did they miss on earnings? Was it? Yeah, so EPS was $1.27. They reported 90 cents. I don't know, did they say guidance was lower? Let's see here. Anything? A weak outlook. Yeah, so I guess they lowered guidance for 2019. Yeah, I don't know. You know. Oh, they're cutting their workforce down. The one thing that I do know about cutting workforces is a lot of times, like when companies downsize, the stock tends to go up. And that could be a couple things. Is when they cut the workforce down, you know, obviously it's not good for the, you know, it's not good for the people. It's not good for if you were a staff member there and you get cut, right? But for the bottom line, people are thinking dollars. You save more money. You less people. You make the people that are currently working there, they work harder for less for the same amount of money. So when a company struggles like that, they get into a situation where they start squeezing out the remaining juice left out of the people that work there. It's not necessarily right, but I mean that's corporate America, you know. And if they're like maybe they were overstaffed. Like I know like Tesla and Facebook. I mean they probably have like Tesla cut a lot of people out. Like Tesla did that a few weeks ago, where they're saying we're laying off X amount of people, and we talked about it that they're not going to lay off their top performers. They're cutting the bottom 1%. They're cutting the bottom 10%. They cut from the bottom on up. You know what I mean? They're cutting the fat. You know, and sometimes when a company cuts their workforce, that means that management is paying attention and they understanding that things need to change, and they're willing to shake up their company to turn things around. And people may be investing in that. Is the only thing that I would, you know, that's the only thing that I see. So, you know, just remember, people invest in what the stock will do a year from now, years from now, or in the future. They don't care what already happened, unless it's going to impact the future in some way. Their stock is up 7% since the 7% is up since the 7% layoff. Yeah, I mean, all companies cut the fat. They had a bad report, but if they have a bad report, I'm not on the conference call or anything. If they had a bad report and they're saying, hey, you know, they're on the conference call, you know, we're gonna cut workforce, and the CEO gets on there and says, you know, we're gonna turn this thing around. Could happen. You know, people like that. Win. I haven't traded a Win since they had their scandal. Win Resorts. Yeah, but I mean, just like the rest of the market, just looks like it wants to make a recovery. It's just a very slow and low stock to trade. I did trade it quite a bit last year, and when they had the scandal. But the premiums here, the premiums are rich, and it doesn't move a lot. I guess you could sell premium in there if you want. But the volume, I mean, the volume is okay. It's kind of so-so. The bid to ask is kind of wide. It makes it for a tough chart. FC knows what he's talking about. So he's about that win life. I think the most part downside moving cutbacks are interpreted by stockholders as positive management initiative. I agree. Closed my CGC positions ahead of earnings. Not a bad deal, Vitaly. Thoughts on NVIDIA earnings? I think they've already lowered guidance. They're kind of NVIDIA is doing what Apple did, where before earnings they lower guidance to kind of soften the blow. So don't expect earnings to be that great, but if they're better than what the lower guidance was, I mean, it's kind of a trick. You know, it's kind of a trick where you give them the bad news, and let's see, when's earnings for them? Theirs is Thursday as well. So, you know, the market's not fair. The market's not fair. But you have to have positions on to take advantage of the moves. I might sell premium on NVIDIA. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I mean, premium is probably pretty rich right now. If we go to, let's check this out. Yeah, come on. Yeah, so they're expected to have a $10 move. I don't think let's see here, last earnings it moved 200 down to 164. So that was more than $10. The earnings before then moved from 256 down to like 255, and those closed down to like 244. So that's more than $10. Here, less than $10 back here, and then we had another earnings. So I would say, because it's so low, having a $10 move, it could be a gamble. I mean, this could easily go to 180, as it also could go to like 120-ish area again. You know, this has been trading in a pretty wide range, and I think that, like, it may not be reflected in the earnings. I mean, that's just how I feel. TradeStation, I haven't traded on there. But they, if you guys want to know what TradeStation is. Yeah, it looks like they're getting crypto. See what their pricing is. So options are 50 cents per plus $5 per. I think that they're probably gonna be a little bit more expensive unless you're trading multiple contracts than Tastyworks. And also it says no software fees. Let's see, free market data, free premium tools. I don't know. Do they have an actual platform to download? Let's see here. Yeah, I think they're going to be a little bit more expensive than Tastyworks. It's 50 cents plus. So they do have mobile, they do have the browser, and they do have desktop. So it doesn't look bad. I don't know. I'd have to give it a test drive. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is something that I did when I was first starting the channel was doing like brokerage reviews. I know I talked about Webull a little bit. I talked about like Stash app. I did Robinhood reviews, Tastyworks reviews. I'll be if you guys think it's helpful, I'll be opening up more brokerage accounts if that's helpful for you, and trying out different brokerages and giving my review on the YouTube channel here. If you guys don't think that's a value, let me know. Crocs. How is Crocs in business? I didn't even know they had a stock. I didn't even know they were public. Earnings are February 27th. Options are just complete garbage. You know, it's not looking good. Option here, volume's only like, you know, they didn't even trade 100 all day in all strikes here for these monthlies. Same here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch the options on here. I mean, if you want to trade the stock, trade the stock. But I mean, it looks like they're making a comeback from 12, and they were not impacted by the sell-off at all. I mean, maybe they're having a comeback, but I wouldn't touch options on this. If you want to go long or even if you want to short it, I mean, I would just do stock. I would just trade the stock. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's $27 a share if you want to go long, but you're not going to. Options pricing is not good. Yeah, I mean, in the money, I mean, right here, 27. It's like it's 15 cents difference. Here's a 50% difference between the bid and the ask on the 26s here. 80-cent bid, ask is 165. And for those people that tell me there's like, you know, it doesn't display all the information, this is true, but you could easily get screwed if you just click on, let's say you wanted to sell, you just click on ask, you know, and you put in an 80-cent order in. Not saying you would, but if you did, I mean, people notice, and they'll make the money off of you. Don't worry about it. They will. Anyways, coming up on just an hour here. Definitely appreciate it, guys. We'll get through this. I guess we're just gonna close our eyes. We're gonna go bullish. You know, definitely appreciate you guys hanging out. If you like the content, hit like on the video. It's always us versus herd. Stay safe and stay green.